So I think I had this a bit of crazy obsession that I need durian all year round. It has been year after year I've been thinking about it. How on earth can we get good durian all year round? This food technology company came and they were like saying, we can blast freeze. And I'm like, can you blast freeze durian? It took us 18 months to actually perfect the AI program, right? To exactly meet the standards of getting the perfect freezing for the durian. And then once you defrost it, it tastes exactly like fresh. So the funny joke was that we made it a bit more premium. When we said it was a premium product, we wanted to target the mass affluent to the ultra wealthy, right? And we were expecting our customer base to be around District 9, 10, 11. It's the exact reverse. We asked them, why do you all like this? Isn't it considered unaffordable? They said, no, we are actually very interested to pay for quality. If you tell us it's a good quality and you're telling me it's a good price, we'll pay.
Welcome to the Financial Coconuts Podcast, the business show.
Woohoo!
I am your co-host, Judson.
I am your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut.
And his halo is still here.
Yes! This is the only one. I'm
only
not
one.
sure if the next round we record.
No
we
one
used
else
to
has
see
halo
the
but
halo.
him.
Yes,
Your
I know.
Holiness,
I
thank
need
you.
to gather some good karma.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you.
Equally
thank you.
gracing us with his presence today is the owner of Spike Durians, currently called Spike Durians, but I think in the future might not be called Spike Durian already because he's
Really?
expanding his empire.
Oh,
Yeah.
become a Spike fruit basket.
Idea. I will take that.
Please introduce yourself to our audience, Christopher.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Christopher here. Thank you so much, guys, for bringing me on this podcast. I do not know what value I have. I don't know why they think I've got any value to add at all. But really good to be here. Hope that you will get some takeaways from me from all my sob stories that I have.
No, stop.
No,
let
I think
me
there's more than that.
let me outright state
There's
the
more
two
than
values that you have that
Yes,
made me want
yes.
to reach out to you, right? One is that you have been in the VC space for 20 years already. You
It's
advise a shit ton of founders and startups already. So your caliber is already there. Number two, you have this technology that can, preserve all kinds of food, right? Like you just told us you ate a 15-month-old chicken rice set and you're still here.
Yeah,
Which
still
means
alive, still alive.
that your stuff works, right? Yeah.
So how does that work? Like you there were people at the back to approve the funding, or like how does that work?
So basically, okay, maybe to give a little bit of background. So I'm sadly very old. I'm reaching I'm 48 this year.
That's why your success rate will be very high.
I hope so.
No,
I
it
hope
is statistically accurate.
Really?
Yes,
So I'm
yes,
on my
yes.
way to the success
Yes, to the
rate.
success.
Also, this year
yes.
is your year. You're the
Yeah.
horse, right?
Yes, that's what everyone told me. It's a horse year, so I think I should do better.
You're on fire.
So, okay, in a very quick summary, I'm actually a third generation family business owner. So I've been growing up in that kind of background where I've been exposed to business. So I started Thrive, the venture capital, and I was very drama. I decided to sell my property, my inheritance from my parents. I sold the property to fundraise. And then I kind of begged a family friend to give me a little bit, and that's where we went on from there. So the VC side of it's been very exciting 10 years. I have two big companies I'm very proud of. One of them is Tada Mobility. They're making quite a lot of money, and that's why they don't feel that they need to fundraise, but I need them to fundraise so that I can exit. And then unfortunately,
That is the game.
they're growing.
Yeah.
They're growing well. And the other one is Charge Plus. Charge Plus is the largest EV chargers across Southeast Asia. So those are doing great. And I think Justin was asking me, why did I decide to go back into venture building and building my own stuff? I think talking to so many mentees, startup founders, I live vicariously through them, and I realized that, hey, I'm not getting younger anymore, and I want to do my own IPO. Itchy is the word. So that's a little bit of my background, just in case if anyone wants to know. Like, yes, I've sat on both sides of the table. I've been an investor, and also I have been a serial entrepreneur.
Then why
why durian?
Yeah, why durian? Because
It's-
you see so many things, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you some people have deal flow problem. Clearly, you don't. You see everything, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna throw my head back into the ring, and I'm gonna do durian. Like what the?
It is not sexy. It is so traditional. I thought you would do something like satellite or something like that, you know?
Tell me why. Yes.
So I think I had this a bit of crazy obsession that I need durian all year round. And it has been year after year, I've been thinking about it. How on earth can we get good durian season all year round? Because Singapore, we get Vietnamese durian, Thailand durians, but we know that we are very discerning as a nation. We cannot. It's not accepted.
That one is only for chips.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah,
right.
chips or what? Yeah, Thai chips are the best.
Durian chips.
Seaweeds.
No, don't come in. Don't come
Yeah.
in. Yes, yes.
So I guess that made me decide. It just became an obsession. And then every time when I go to the food tech startups, in 2018, there was a rise of the food technology companies, right? And I kept asking them, can you all like plant-based replication of durian? They were like, that is like 20 years away. No way that we can do that, plant cell-based. Or, is there any way to better store this? Then the worst part was that we've been trying frozen durian. And frozen durian really, oh my goodness, it's like might as well don't eat it. It's like it's very cardboard, very icy. So it really frustrated me. Like, hey, is there anyone? Then finally, we at Thrive, suddenly this company came, this food technology company came, and they were like saying we can blast freeze, and I'm like, can you blast freeze durian? It's like we are Europeans. What is durian? And then it took us 18 months to actually perfect the AI program, right? To exactly meet the standards of getting the perfect freezing for the durian. And then once you defrost it, it tastes exactly like fresh. Yeah.
Just curious, EMF frequency is a spectrum, right? So
It's a big spectrum.
mathematically speaking, how many permutations is like billions of permutations, is
It
it?
is. So we started with our AI. It has to be like a lot of guessing, prediction, and then we will narrow down the frequency. So it's like, I don't know whether you'll play this game, like 099. You got to go, what is my number? Then everyone guess until you finally reach. And that was how we were doing it at one point. And AI has now helped us a little bit more when ChatGPT came up, it helped. And now it's moving towards anthropic level already where we reduce the iterations. So for durian itself, I think we took over easily 120 rounds of iterations before we got the exact frequency. So it's not a very simple technology, but once you have mastered it, and we have a whole series of food products with their corresponding frequencies. So if we know it's like chicken rice, okay, we know it's at this particular frequency, then we put the freezing, and also how long you want to blast freeze it also got a difference one. So it's not the simplest deep technology, but once you have kind of perfected it for a specific product, it's good as fresh. That means, yeah.
It's a very strong mode leh.
It is interesting, yes. I thought you were about to ask what's your favorite durian.
Huh? No.
It's like, okay.
I wanted to ask where you source your durian from.
So it took us about also another 6 to 9 months visiting plantation after plantation. And I tell you, right, the best durians are found on the highest mountains and they're all on the terrace and all that. There are two main criteria for the best Mao Sangwang. Must be highland. Highland, the higher the peak, the higher it has the different minerals. So it gets better kind of complex flavors out of it. And then the second thing, it must be old tree, 老树, they call it.
So this Swaku Singaporean needs to ask, right? Then in terms of supply volume, the old tree durians is much more limited and priced, correct? So then how do you therefore negotiate and compete in terms of with these suppliers against the Chinese?
So that's the interesting part of it. It's massive product differentiation. So the shape of the durian is very important to the Chinese, and it's called grade AA. They must be perfectly shaped because they give it away as wedding gifts. I was like, why do you want to give someone a wedding gift?
Yeah, we put it in basket.
Yeah,
by the road,
I don't know why do you want to give it like that, but apparently that is what they price. Mine are called.
It's like our chiffon cake, that green color chiffon
bang,
cake.
bang,
that
bang,
one.
so
Yeah,
they do.
But please continue. Yeah.
So for us, we take what we call the ugly fruits because our product is actually in a box. So the durian farmers love us. They said, you want our ugly fruits, our BSC, we're more than happy. We're going to dehusk them all for you, no problem, man, because they don't know where to sell it. Because if not, they will have to just turn it into puree, and then it's sold to confectionaries.
Like
They don't
NG,
make
no choice. is
yeah,
it?
no choice. I feel
You
so
done that
bad.
every time
I mean,
like
for the record, I did.
I love NG,
yes,
okay?
I also
I
ate a
love you.
lot.
Yes,
It's
yes.
just that I was
Bo liao,
having.
there's bo liao, okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
gone,
the
but
end, yes.
to be very honest, they have been a heritage
Yes,
brand. To
yes,
be
it's
very honest,
true,
I
it's
bought a
true.
lot from them. I
Mm.
love their food,
Yes,
but it
yes.
was just that moment I was expecting a very high grade durian. I didn't get it.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a very typical bitchy Singaporean expectation now.
But actually, right, we rewind the story a little bit, right? I am still quite curious how, you know, like they came to you as an incubator, like a VC, you know, like these Europeans, they came to you with this like weird little technology, which every day people will come to you with weird little technology, right? So then you have to try your very best to try to understand and try to see whether they can apply it, right? What made you then decide that, okay,
This was it.
we're gonna do this together?
I think tasting is believing. So what they did was they tell us what's your favorite foods, like char kway teow, chicken rice. So I said, okay lah, you freeze it. I said, I know what is frozen chicken rice all about. And then they gave me a blind test and I didn't know. I couldn't tell what was the right one. I mean, they microwave both. And then I said, okay, this one looks good. And then I tasted it and they said, lo and behold, it was the agri-frozen one. It was their new technology. And I was like, I couldn't believe that. And they have done a series of different food types already, from beef to salmon to uni. And I was really amazed that it really was as good as fresh. And there was no smell of the frozen smell. And then, when you have frozen meats, my goodness, it just have that really weird stench. And then when you cook it, you can also smell that frozen thing. I didn't get any of that. And so to me, I was like, potentially this has a big idea. Unfortunately, at that time, they didn't have a business case. It was a struggle for them, but to them, tasting is believing. And I said, maybe we can do something about it. And after that, maybe a few months later, I was like, let's try durian. What do y'all think about it? And they said, let's go. Let's have a go at it. And I found the business case was interesting, and I was like saying, okay, you allow me, you license the tag to me, and I will do durians on this, and that's where it is today, lah. That was only just one part of the story, but a really amazing thing that we did was we took only 3 months to go to market. That to me was one of the fastest speeds that we ever got. From finding our partners to actually building an entire supply line to come to Singapore was quite an amazing story on its own.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, wait. So just so I'm clear, your structure with them, the scientists, we'll just call them scientists, right? Is you're licensing their technology, they're not involved in the business, and then you build your own other team to then run this as a business. Okay. Is there some thought process here for fellow SME bosses that want to invest in other new things? Like why do you choose this model?
So for me, my background is because as a VC, I've seen so many commercialization methodologies. The challenge here is that this is a very traditional business and the mindsets are very fixed because, you enter the durian business, you are going to earn X amount of profits. This is the kind of margins you're going to make. They wouldn't go into a blue ocean idea. And when we tried to go to the traditional business owners to work with them, they were like, no, this is never going to work. I'm not going to put any risk on it. So I just told them, I said, then fine, maybe why don't I do the venture build? I go and come up with it. I do believe in the technology, and we have tried it so many times to the point that we have kind of perfected the product. Now it's all about how do you go to market? How do you do the marketing, education? Then I was like, rather than trying to convince someone else, since I'm already convinced, just do it. And that is part one. But part two was because of the financial opportunities that I found out on Malaysia. I know I will have a bit of a Singapore-Malaysia war here about not only just food, but now is financial markets. The vibrancy of the Malaysian market, it is so exciting. Last year, Malaysia's stock exchange had about 64 IPOs. Singapore had 4. And the amount that they raised in consolidation was 10 times the value of what Singapore was raising. And it's very sad that Malaysia markets are very open-minded. And you realize that Malaysia actually has a huge opportunity. So I guess that was the excitement that I have. I saw the goal at the end of the rainbow already. And I think that was also part of that trigger in the finance thing. And I realized that, hey, combine my VC capabilities, business, and my finance together. This is like the ikagai of a methodology of all three together. Can I try something? So that's just a personal thing that's happening in my mind now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it happened at 48.
Yeah.
When you
No, it's okay.
suddenly-
It's never too late. It's never too late. Increased success rate.
Yeah,
Okay. Then tell us more about the 3-month deployment.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's quite crazy.
So we were desperately, let's start first with Durian, where to go and find Durian, right? And then it just was mass messaging everybody, right? And then we asked, do you all know Durian farmers? And surprisingly, people knew. And it's like, I've got this uncle whose ex-neighbor has an uncle who has a farm. And then it was like, everybody we met were 4 or 5 degrees of separation introduction. And then finally, we just went visiting and we found 2 suppliers that we really like, and they were in the state of Pahang itself. They are really lovely people. They are all next generation farmers, and they were all in their 20s and their 30s, and they are really open-minded, very happy to work with us, and we started building a relationship. Then there was another time where we needed to have a cold chain partner. That means to go and freeze the durians using our technology and also to store it for us. Then we were like thinking, who would be so open-minded to do it? And then I just happened to be at this area in Kuala Lumpur. It's a food hub. Then I looked up and I saw, hey, there is a food chain here. There's all these food chain people. I wonder anyone will kind of talk to me. And when we called, it happens to be the owner who is a 27-year-old guy. And he's like, this is so exciting. Let me come. I'm coming down tomorrow. I'm driving my cold chain truck to Singapore. Let's meet. So it was his first time coming to Singapore, driving his cold chain truck to deliver goods for the cold chain over to Singapore. And we met up and we built a friendship. And then soon after, we got all the partners ready for the whole setup that was done. Then when it comes to the founders, was also really, really interesting. My founders are basically people from the F&B industry, e-commerce industry, and so they actually they're people in their 30s. They're very much younger, and I think all 3 are my mentees. And
that was what I was thinking. That 找自己的子弟兵, right? Pull together a bunch of them.
I didn't. But it was very funny. It was because they decided to just call me because they wanted to catch up, and they were in transition because there's one that's particularly he specializes in marketing, and his F&B, as you know, F&B hasn't been the best, and he was already looking at the transit out, and I was like, I need a man who's very good at marketing and who knows how to actually do branding. And he kind of liked the whole idea, like Durian. He loves Durian. And then, even I got freedom in doing whatever I want with the branding. I said, just go. So that was really fun. I had another founder who did e-commerce last time. I also was an e-commerce person in the past, but I thought it was outdated. So he came up with the entire structure, the SOPs. And so it was just like ready to go on day one, right? We kind of more or less already was quite optimized at 70 to 80% of the things that we needed to do. And it wasn't as shaky as what we felt. We were very worried, there are all these unknowns, but it kind of turned out well. Yeah. And then we had a third one that did a lot of supply chain kind of project management in the past. So he handled all the suppliers, and he kind of brought the supply chain together. And I was like, hey, this is one of the easiest setups.
It feels like everything falls into place.
So how do you go about convincing your early adopters? Like it's
Is
okay.
it word of mouth?
Yeah.
Or?
So what's your strat?
So strategy was that we took day 1 and day 2. We will take 100 of our friends, right, to be willing to try the durians from us, and then we just went delivering. We delivered to 100 friends in day 1. It was so funny, and then we brought it to all of them. The comments came back, and it was amazing that they were very excited, and then they actually helped to forward, and they also did user-generated content on their own. They got their kids to eat it. Wow, everyone was like always playing in the game just to support all of us. It was amazing. And then some of them were food influencers. Some of them run restaurants. And so when they tasted it, and they said, oh man, this is really amazing that you can do this. And I think that gave us a lot of the very big initial start. And there was some mentees as well that I had was so sweet. They came back to me. One said, I buy 6 boxes from you. And what he did was he went around giving to his relatives and his neighbors, just like that. I think that was how the thing started triggering. And then we went into full-fledged marketing, doing all our Instagram stuff. And just for the record also, you guys had that talk, that session on marketing. I took down a lot of notes, and I applied it. So I'm just telling you my enhancement. Now you're seeing some of the development was what you guys said.
Awesome.
And to tell you
Awesome.
that when some of your guest speakers were talking about it, say, we SME bosses have this problem. I was like, that's me. I'm facing the same problems. And so I kind of picked out quite a bit on that.
Awesome. Come for the next one.
You should come for the
Put
next
your
one. I really
email
learned.
address in our go to the financialcoconut.com. Put your email address so we can reach out to you and the next event.
So it seems like word of mouth is the big starter, the big momentum, right?
Yes.
I think that's how all startups happen.
Do you still need to spend a lot on ads these days?
So, okay, the numbers are very interesting now is that we are reaching conversion ratios of about 2 to 6% for the conversion. And that was something, according to the last speaking session, that is very respectable. And we were actually quite proud about that. Our cost per click, everything has dropped by 50% already. So the cost of acquiring a particular customer is dropping and dropping. And we thought that, wow, that is actually getting quite amazing that the conversion is doing right. Of course, there are a lot of other variables. The messaging must be very consistent. The kind of target market that you are after it has to be very consistent in the terms of the education, the reminders, and a lot of video content.
How did y'all discover your markets then? Just want to understand that whole process.
Okay. So the funny joke was that, we made it a bit more premium. So when we said it was a premium product, we wanted to target the mass affluent to the ultra wealthy, right? And we were expecting our customer base to be around District 9, 10, 11. It's the exact reverse. So now, bulk of our customers, almost close to 90%, right, are people who are staying in the new towns of Singapore, all around from the west all the way north to northeast. and this is the whole group of them that are buying from us. And we found out that we're actually moving towards the mass market. And when we asked them, why do you all like this? Isn't it considered unaffordable? They said, no, we are actually very interested to pay for quality. We believe that we are discerning. If you tell us it's a good quality and you're telling me it's a good price, we'll pay. So apparently that is the market that is more forgiving. The unforgiving ones are more of the ultra wealthy because when they see it, it better be perfect. And
they're the one that buy the AAA one.
Yeah, they are that kind of the thing. They must see visually, everything must be fantastic. But we found that our main customers, right, the PMETs, the PMEBs, right, they are the ones who are actually enjoying it more because they said that the impression that they get is that you took a very good time, 6 to 7 months to actually find the best quality durians for me. And then you agri-freeze it, you make sure that it's packaged nicely. I appreciate that, but the mass affluent tends to be more like, I've seen all this packaging because I already get whatever products I have is always in good packaging. So their utility from receiving a product, it's not as high. But the mass markets have actually shown us that they're willing to try. And they also told us they conduct a lot of family and friends parties, not really family parties. So they will have people of their peers bringing all their families over. And then to them, having like 3 boxes of durian together is something that they really enjoy. Yeah, so it's a very, how do I say, it's a premium and yet neutral product that they feel that when they bring durian, people are like, wow, you brought this kind of food. And then the conversation starts from there.
Interesting.
I really need to ask this, right? So it
Yeah.
really does sound like your pricing is slightly above market average because of your technology and your packaging.
I wish I could say that. No, we still have to place it competitive. In fact, we are lower. Yes. Because we are not established brand. We are this new group, using technology to work on it. So the kind of crowd that's arriving are your innovators and early adopters. So you're not, yeah, I know the S curve.
I can't believe he's using the S curve on Liu Lian
yeah.
sales. And Liu Lian also got S curve.
Hey, Durian need training wheels one, you know.
Yes. Oh, you early adopters.
Confusion,
You
I
think eat
tell
apple
you.
only leh?
So it's like, wow, we have to learn. And then there are some very stubborn, I wouldn't say stubborn, but people who they will say, we gave them a really so bitter one, they said not bitter enough. And I'm like, wow, it's really kind of a very different expectation. And durian is a natural fruit. It's also that very big challenge that when we talk to the farmers, right, and the durian sellers, how do you all determine what's bitter? They said by smell, by look, by sight, right? They're only 70% accurate. They cannot guarantee you that it's okay. So there is always a big risk for customers when they buy a whole durian now, today, they bring home, right? They don't know whether it's good or not. So for us, at least we have filtered it out. We open it, we have a look, we more or less know that it's already of a certain standard. Yeah, we told, and our farmers that gives us the durian stock, even the B and C sizing grades, right? They throw away about 40% of their stocks to give, and they only keep a certain selection for us only. So even from there, we take it and we look at it, there is still issues we will throw. So it shows you that the selection criteria can be very, very, very strict.
So you have 4 levers here actually in terms of going to market, right? One is pricing, one is the preservation using agri-freeze, one is packaging, one is free delivery. Out of these 4, which ones, if you remove it, your business will suffer?
The product itself, I mean, I don't know whether you put the 4 pieces there, but the quality itself, because everything else is a bonus to support the original core thing. Singaporeans are discerning no matter what.
Somehow it's durian.
It's
Like,
durian.
people
You
know
want to make sure that
durian,
it's
yeah.
the complex connoisseur level. And if you don't give them that level, right, no matter what else you do, it's never going to happen. Yeah, product is product. Yeah, and pricing is a toughie. We want to make it more premium, but we know that we will start to edge out a lot of our customers. And these are actually the supporters that we found. They are the ones that have been sharing that. There's one very sweet guy. I really love him, man. He will buy for his friends, and then it's always the same billing address, which is him, but he will deliver, he will send across, Singapore.
No lah, just group buy lor. I think he's doing a group buy
Yeah.
business.
No lah. I mean,
no, man, not sure.
I don't know, but anyway, okay. So I wanted to find out a little bit more, right? So you have this whole supply chain kind of sorted out. You guys are focused on the e-commerce way of doing business, direct to customer, door-to-door delivery, right? You'll send it to their place and that whole bit, right? So that is the primary vehicle of the business, right? How much more do you think that will be the primary vehicle of the business? Or have you kind of tested out other, because when something grows, right, then you'll be very excited, right? As with all entrepreneurs, then you think like, maybe I try this other method, like we do a pop-up here, we do this there, all that bit, right? Have you guys tested all these other things, or you're just going to be like laser focused?
I would say that I need to attend another of your speaking
Okay,
sessions
sure.
where, all your experts, your
Yeah.
sifus tell me what to do, and maybe I will
You got
integrate.
a lot of seafood in your ecosystem. Like, yeah.
Okay, for me, let me give a bit of a VC speak behind it, right? The total addressable market in Singapore is $120 million for durian, and that's only for 6 months. The other 6 months, there isn't a market because there isn't, unless you are talking about Thailand durians and Vietnam durians, which isn't much.
Nobody wants those.
Yeah. But in those 6 months, there is no market. It's a blue ocean for me. If I were to level that as the same level, okay, $60 million of value, there is no one there that can provide premium grade fresh lock Mao Shan Wang. So for me, straight away, if I take that first, I can capture it because of solely of technology itself, right? That's a very big business to start. So I think this is something that we are quite laser focused now. We just want to consistently make it more online, stay within e-commerce. We feel that the yield has been the strongest. We tried TikTok live selling. My goodness, a lot of talking, but not much, no sales. It's a very, very difficult kind of thing that we may not want to work on. And I think one of your previous speakers, the Ergo Tune, is it? There's that guy. He was very specific. He says that Shopify, my Shopify website does the best, but the other platforms did not work. And truth be told, I'm having the same thing. And I was actually resonating what he was saying. And because when we tried TikTok, it didn't work. So now we are realizing that there is a very distinct market that we are getting. And it's also because of the marketing that we do. We do Instagram site. The TikTok marketing doesn't work very well, but the Instagram comes out very strong. Facebook also comes very strong. So it's kind of like, but why do we want to go and reinvent the wheel? You just do the tried and tested marketing methods that people tell you this is already successful. Just follow.
Yeah, rinse and repeat, keep going. Okay.
And so that's not how much I picked up. And I actually reinforced my marketing team like, hey, let's not stretch our resources. Let's just focus on the meta advertising, the videos and all that. Let's keep towards that. We get also, the only difference that we do is that we don't get KOLs, the key opinion leaders. We get actually people who are very small micro influencers, and those are actually the most effective people. We gave them referral codes, and it sounds like that is actually succeeding better. So it's a little bit more interesting how we are seeing things. Are we expecting a J curve? No. I feel that a lot of people told us branding takes years, and you think all those established durian suppliers, they also took many, many years to be where they are today, right? And we have to follow the same route. Now, I don't think there's an acceleration unless you want to play the PE route where you get a whole chunk of money and we
You
start.
burn. Yes.
But for now, I just feel that it's great. And it's also achieving what we wanted. It's Spike Durian is actually a small piece of the bigger puzzle that we are building. And by putting that on the map already, by telling people that, hey, we have tested this, proof of concept, we got durian, that already gives a lot of new doors opening for other kind of SKUs we wanted.
Okay, fair. So then why is so if you're laser focused on the route, right? E-commerce, selling durians, like why do you need to explore like Spike Fruit Basket?
Spike Fruit Basket.
Yeah, like
Spike chicken
why do you need
rice,
Spike Fruit Basket?
Spike
Like,
mangosteen.
yeah, why do you need to do the mango, the whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So what's the
Okay.
thought process?
So now we have, so we call the bigger...
Your durian consumer also like the
Yeah.
mangosteen.
They
Also like the
may.
mango. I don't know. Yeah. Please tell me your
Okay,
thesis here.
maybe for SME owners, right? Maybe I'm also catching the SME bug from
Yes,
the SME
I
owners.
feel got a bit lah. Yeah.
SME owners was like, what if I can try this? What if I can try that?
Yeah.
And I've been hanging around with a lot of SME owners. It's very vastly different from VC startup founders. VC startup founders is like, we have fundraised this amount, focus on one thing, and we can only do this, do or die. But the PE SME owners tend to say, what if I could try this? So for vertical integration, just on durians itself, we are already getting distribution inquiries in various parts of the world. We didn't expect the most interesting one came from Middle East. So Middle East is interested in durians. So we have already spoken to a few of them, and they want to actually take our stocks. And we are thinking that was one way of expansion. Singapore will always be our established market. It's a proof of concept. You need it.
I know. Then you put the passion made possible.
That was what people were
The
thinking.
logo.
I cannot. But if it's from Malaysia, it's not really
the
passion.
Pahang farmer will come
Yeah.
and like,
I think it's not passion. It's Pahang made possible.
Pahang made possible. New campaign.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think then the other things was that you have very dynamic entrepreneurial founders, entrepreneurs in Malaysia. Everything they want to try now. They said, what if I can do this? So we have looked at seafood, we have looked at meat products, ready-to-eat meals. And when I had that conversation, so many people want to start working about it, like, can you give us some samples of this technology? And they want to commit to it because worldwide, there is a very huge market. Let's talk about a next door kind of product, ready-to-eat meal, your convenience food. When you look at North Asia, anywhere from China to Taiwan to Japan and South Korea, convenience stores galore. You need them. And quality of the products, they're fresh, but they don't last. So what if you could actually get it frozen and yet fresh? So this is something that a lot of them have been asking us about it. So we had big conglomerates that talked to AgriFreeze, the technology company. But for Malaysia side, we have already a few of them asking us, how can we export Malaysian cuisine ready-to-eat meals across the world. And so we were like, hey, this is a exciting business to me. And for me also, why I cannot survive solely on just Spike Durian to make an IPO. I need, if I want to, and in Malaysia to IPO is as short as 6 months. In Singapore, an IPO is 18 months. So the speed that you do it, if you want to really get into an IPO and all that, right, you need to have some very scalable kind of businesses. So cold chain distribution is always the biggest, that people are very open-minded. It's also very proven. And when you want to talk about getting fundraising from different people, um, so the biggest fundraisers now for private equity, not venture capital, but private equity, is the Chinese family offices. And there is a saying that they will tell you straight away, we only want 衣食住行. What you eat, what you wear, where you stay, and where you travel. These are the main things, basic human needs. And it must see, touch, and feel. As long as you do it, we are very happy to give you the money to support you. And actually, that has been the request of some of my investors. Because when we brought them as a VC, we brought them all your AI and everything. They yawn at me and they say, in China, there are even more advanced technologies there. There's nothing to fundraise. There's nothing that we will invest here for venture capital. But when you talk about, asset heavy, capex kind of companies, they love it. And in fact, they are on the prowl for a lot of legacy businesses around, SME owners. And I've been seeing quite a number of
It's a lot of
acquisitions.
roll-ups. Yeah.
A lot. And they actually want to know how to actually take a technology advantage to it to bring it bigger. And so far, it's always very traditional. And they really wish that there is additional asset of a technology that can help to enhance. So like for me, when we use this technology, we're enhancing shelf life. And when you look at frozen food technology, perishable and the quality itself are the main two in stuff. And you can solve this. This is something that everybody is very excited to purchase. Why would you not want to have it frozen, high quality, but have it frozen? Your logistics rates, everything is cheaper from there. Let's do that.
So based on what you just said, although you license the technology from AgriFreeze, you also invested in AgriFreeze, right?
Of course lah.
he's gonna wrap everything together,
course lah.
and then they're gonna like roll on this.
So I've been very fortunate is that because of my bonus that I wanted to work with them, I said that I will only, if you can give me Malaysia exclusive, because it's a market. I've been there. My very first startup was out of Malaysia. So I've been in KL for 30 years. So in terms of knowing the markets and how they do things, I said I want to create an export market out of it. And I'll give you a share of the company. Would you be okay? And then they were like, okay, it's like I don't need. All they needed to do was to support me in the R&D development. But they appreciate it because with my insights and the go-to market that I understood about Malaysia, I could enter very fast. And I think by proving that I managed to create Spike Durian in 3 months was just something I was also quite amazed by that
just
speed.
a flex, bro.
Yeah, it was really an amazing thing because it was just going out dinners with all my friends and Malaysian friends. Like, I need Durian suppliers. They're like, hey, my cousin have, then they will all call. And then after a while, you just find them. And the funny thing was that I was thinking I needed to meet all these 60-year-old uncles and above who only speaks Cantonese. But actually it wasn't. It was actually very young people who are very, very wealthy. They have made loads of money by just being farmers, and they have built warehouses and everything, and they are all very young. And they have taught me a lot. Actually, to be honest with you, as a Singapore entrepreneur, we have a lot of international influencers. We learn from people, but actually we forgot to learn the basics from our neighbors, like our Malaysian entrepreneurs. The 27-year-old was very, very simple. He drove his truck into Singapore, the first shipment for cold chain. So I said, why do you do it? Why can't you just send your driver to do it? Typical Singaporean behavior, right? Send your staff lah. Why you want to do all this hardship? He says, no. Then I get to learn everything, and then I teach my staff, and I know that my staff cannot smoke me anymore. And that is the value system that the Malaysians have. And I didn't realize that we Singaporeans will have that, that behavior that just outsourced. Lor. Like, for example, when we packed all our shipment, we just wanted to get the courier's logistics to do it. Then the Malaysians told me, it's like, don't do it. You do it yourself first. The first 100 orders, you do it yourself to learn. And we learned so many things from there.
No, it's true. It's true. Like I always tell my guys, don't smoke me.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, I already do before.
So it's good.
Right?
Okay,
So
as a Singaporean, you're good.
There's a different thing to it. So whenever they tell me the numbers, the times, like,
Yeah.
right? Like I know what it takes to do this. So don't kind of sell me a sob story.
Yeah.
You know?
So you will know.
Yeah. So you will know there's some truth to that. But of course, if you grow very, very fast, that's a different story. Like you can only learn so much. But I think for a lot of SMEs, if you can actually, go through that whole process, you have a good sense, what it takes, how do that, it gives you some advantage. Yeah.
It was really also a humbling thing. So a lot of people said, wow, you already so established. You go around driving your car and then you go and deliver to places like that. Wow, is it an embarrassing thing? I said, no, actually, because I get to meet people. I get to say hi to my customers. I ask them, why did they buy it? One drama story, I had this elderly lady. She bought 9 boxes on a Monday. So we were like, why do you want it on a Monday? Because you're having a party. No, I eat all 9 boxes by myself. I eat over 3 days. I only eat it for lunch and dinner. And I was like, wow. She really is that fanatical woman that just eats her own jewelry. And she doesn't eat anything else. And I was like, but you have your family, you got your grandchildren. It's like, no, they're not eating it. It's me.
They do not
I
deserve
have it.
it.
Yeah, so it was really
For
interesting.
me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were like so
like,
amazed. She said it's
wow.
not about the price, but as long as you give me good durian, you tell me like you can help me, like you get me my bitter ones and all that.
Is she a return customer?
Yes, she came back already. So it was, she bought less this time because she said, I don't need to kanchong anymore. Last time she bought 9 because it was during odd season. So we said that, no, anytime you got craving, don't worry. You just end up, and she wants it. We have actually done a very special order for her. We have it frozen for her. So that means if she orders, right, she takes her time to thaw it out herself. Yeah, because our main customer base is that when I buy it, I want to eat it straight away. She wants to store it. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
That's why I think it's fair to say that the TAM of off-season is maybe 60 million, not 120, right?
It
because
won't be that
people
high.
slow down, people not as agent, but okay, I think this is interesting.
We had another customer, which is he brings a lot of guests from overseas. And then they always eat, they always had to do the touristy thing, to entertain everyone, eat all the chili crab. And then they said, sorry, this season, no durians. But now he told me that, hey, now you got durians, I'm going to call you next time. And then, I've got this set of guests, please bring X amount of boxes. So I was like, hey, this is quite cool.
Solves a market problem.
So actually, tour guides are it's a viable segment, right?
Yeah.
Those-
Yes and no. Where are they going to eat by the
on the tour
pavement?
bus.
Ah.
On the tour bus.
I guess maybe they could do that.
I was just one more question, right? Would you have invested in agri-freeze if you didn't have this obsession with durian?
Yes, the answer was yes, was because I didn't think about durian then. They were giving me food and they were entertaining me with, your unagi and all that. And I was like, wow, sashimi. I was like trying it. I was like, this is actually not frozen because we can tell you what is frozen. And I think seeing was believing. My challenge that time was that the technological readiness level was around 5. That means, okay, as a VC, you will normally invest around 7 to 9. That means it's very more towards commercialization. 5 is a bit dangerous. And I decided that why not I just try? I just get my luck into it and just put it in. And they needed help in business case. And, we were talking, I was talking among my GPs of Thrive. And I said that, do we have enough Kangtao network to actually help them with the food industry? Can we open enough doors? And we said, maybe it's possible. And we felt that they were gelling very well. The Europeans managed to gel well with the Singaporeans and talking to them about food. We said, hey, I think we got something here with them. So yeah. It wasn't really because of durian obsession now. I was looking more at the capabilities. Very excitingly, they are now dealing with 3 very major customers in Singapore. It took them 1.5 years. They were featured recently in Channel News Asia. And because of that one feature, they got 3 very mega customers. And it was very impressive how they... It takes a while to finally find that product market fit because their B2B commercialization is a bit more complex.
B2B is long tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll get lifetime free durian. No,
Anytime for you can just get me to your speaker sessions or the marketing I learn.
For sure.
Coming
yeah,
up
yeah.
soon, yeah.
Coming up soon, we'll have one more. I don't know will this go out before, but anyway, there will be more, right? So thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
And if you love what we do, go to thefinancialcoconut.com, put your email address so that we can route out the algo and reach you directly, right? So that you get a special invite to events and new drops and everything. And if you love TFC Business Show, once again, I want to shout out that we will be spinning off the business show onto its own feed. So if you love it, please go search on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube, even socials, TFC Business Show. Follow that specifically so that we can optimize the content to really zoom in on the SME struggles. Okay, so with that, that's all for today. We'll see you next week for TFC Business Show. Meanwhile, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.